Assalamualaikum and hi, I am Nuralia Amanina binti Mohd Roshidi from TO4, and today I will be demonstrating how to set up a tent. But before that, why do we need to learn this? So first of all, when we go to camping trips, if we do not know how to set up a tent, we might end in a situation where we are soaking wet in the rain, struggling to set up our tent. And of course, we do not want our trip to end up like this. Other than that, instead of staying inside the tent, there are also other options for us to stay in nature, such as glamping places, chalets and resorts. However, these places can be quite pricey, and those who do not have lots of money, especially students like me, would prefer to stay in a tent because I do not need to pay for that. So I have lots of experience going on to camping trips since I was a girl guide during my high school days. So today, I will be listing all the components and steps that we need to do in order to set up our tent. Without further delay, let's continue. So the first step is to unpack your tent and check all the components. So a basic tent consists of 5 parts, which is the rain fly, tent stakes, tent pole, tent bag, and also the tent itself. So common brands that are used by campers are Quechua and Coleman. However, if you do not get these brands from your nearby stores, do not worry because in the end, the steps to set up the tent are almost similar to each other. So the next is to unfold your tent and lay it on a flat surface. Before you lay it on a flat surface, make sure that you clean and remove all the rocks and twigs, because these rocks and twigs can puncture and rip your tent, and of course it is uncomfortable for you to sleep on a rock. After that, you can unfold your tent and orient the door facing away from the direction of the wind, because it is for proper protection during windy days. And after that, moving on to the easiest part of setting up a tent is to connect tent poles. So tent poles may vary from the type of tent, but the most common ones are the ones that are folded and needs to be attached together. So these tent poles can easily fit to each other. So all you need to do is to unfold the tent pole and insert it to the joint on the other pole. So you need to keep on doing this until you get a long pole. Then you need to insert the tent poles into the tent sleeves. So the tent sleeves are on the outer part of the tent, and when you insert it, you need to make sure that your tent always attached to each other, because sometimes the tent poles may be unattached. So you just insert to the tent sleeves. And after that, moving on to the trickiest part of setting up a tent, which is raising the tent. It is advisable for you to do it with a partner, but if you are alone, do not worry because it is still manageable. So all you need to do is to insert the tent pole, the end of the tent pole, to its pole attachment point, a flex on the corner of the tent. You do it this, you insert this to each side of the tent. And after that, you need to struggle a little bit by bending your tent pole, and you need to pull your tent and make sure that the pole is inserted into it for attachment point. And then just make sure pull this insert to its attachment. So after that, you also need to tie the frames, the tent poles, to the tent to make it more secure. But do not tie it too tight, because later you need to untie it when you want to keep your tent. After that, you need to stake your tent. So you take a tent stake and then you use something that is heavy, whether it's a rock or hammer, and then you pound it so that it can penetrate into the ground. You do this to each side of the tent to make sure that your tent did not fly or budge away during windy days. And for the last part is putting a rain fly. All you need to do is to put the rain fly on top of your tent, and then you just hook it to each side. It is advisable for you to buy a bigger rain fly so that it can give extra protection to your tent during rainy days. So that is all. You can now sleep in your tent. So to recapitulate, there are 7 steps, which is unpack the tent and check all the components, fold the tent and lay it on a flat surface, connect tent poles and insert into tent sleeves, raise the tent, stake the tent to the ground, and put a rain fly. So now you can enjoy the calmness of nature without worrying the money that you spend to stay in nature. So that is all for me sharing steps how to set up a tent. It's now your turn to gain your own experience and have fun camping. Bye!